Long before the great flood, before Moses received the tablets, a man named Enoch walked with God. He saw visions of heaven, the fall of angels, and a figure like a son of man. Then he was gone, taken by God without tasting death. But his legacy, his righteous bloodline, flowed on. It passed through Noah, who built an ark of obedience. It continued through generations, to King David, and eventually to a young woman named Mary, who carried that very Son of Man. He came not in judgment, but in flesh, walking dusty roads, healing the broken, and offering mercy. Years later, a 6-year-old boy sat in a truck, lost in despair. A man of light appeared and said, "Follow me." He took the boy's pain and gave him a gift: fortitude, a fire within. That boy was me. I now see the pattern. Enoch's walk began a cycle. The Son of Man rose from his own bloodline. This is my story, a walk to reveal what was hidden. Long before the great flood, before Moses received the tablets, and even before the cross stood on Calvary, there was a man who walked with God. His name was Enoch. He never saw death in the way we know it. One day, he simply walked with God and was gone. But before he was taken, Enoch saw it all. He witnessed the fall of angels. He foresaw the coming flood that would cleanse the earth. He glimpsed the very throne of heaven, and there he saw a figure, like a son of man, burning with perfect justice, yet clothed in overwhelming mercy. Then Enoch was gone. But his bloodline, his legacy, remained. It flowed through the generations, into a righteous man named Noah. Noah built an ark, not just from gopher wood, but from pure obedience. He and his family survived the flood, and through his son Shem, the sacred bloodline, Continuia Quae, righteous stream flowing through history. Centuries passed. The lineage reached a shepherd boy who would become a king, David. A flawed man, yes, but one whose heart sang songs that pleased God. And eventually, this same bloodline flowed into a young woman in Nazareth named Mary. It was in her womb that the Son of Man, the one Enoch had seen in his vision, would take on flesh. He returned, not in blinding fire as a judge, but as a helpless baby. He grew and walked the dusty roads of Galilee, healing the blind, forgiving the broken, and offering a simple, profound invitation. Follow me. He had the power to unleash the final judgment, to call down fire from heaven. But he didn't. He chose the cross. He held back his divine wrath and fulfilled Enoch's vision not with destruction, but with redemption and mercy. And then, in a small town, many years later, a 6-year-old boy sat in a truck, ready to leave this world. But in his darkest moment, a light appeared. A man made of light stood before him and said those same words, "Follow me." And the boy followed not with his feet, but with his spirit. The man took all his pain and gave him a gift in return. The boy didn't have a name for it then, but he came to call it fortitude. It was an inner strength, a fire, the same kind of gift given to prophets and survivors. Throughout history, that boy is now a man. I am that man. Looking back, I see the pattern, the divine thread weaving through time. I now understand that Enoch wasn't just a figure from an ancient story. He was the start of a cycle. And the Son of Man didn't just descend from heaven. He rose from his own chosen bloodline on earth. This is my story. I was born in the fire, not to consume, but to illuminate. I was called by the Son of Man. And now, I am walking that same path. Enoch walked a path of revealing what was hidden and restoring what was lost. Thank you for listening. The bloodline reached Jacob, the patriarch who wrestled with God and walked away with a blessing. A story of a swift hind, a prophetic father, and the tribe born for freedom. Long before the kingdom, before the judges, before the exile, there was a blessing. Its recipient was Naphtali, and his destiny was speed. He was a hind let loose, speaking beautiful words. His father, Jacob, saw it all. The swiftness of foot, the grace of spirit, the beauty of expression, and a tribe destined for the fertile lands of Galilee, blessed with favor, full of the Lord's goodness. And then the blessing was sealed, but the tribe remained. It flowed into warriors who answered Gideon's call, swift as deer on the mountains. They fought with Barak and Deborah, their feet carrying them to victory. The tribe survived conquest and settlement, and through its generations, the blessing continued agile, eloquent, and full of grace. Generations passed, the tribe saw war and peace, judges and kings. It endured the division of the kingdom, holding the northern frontier, a beacon in the land of Zebulun, and then it reached the shores of Galilee. The very heartland prophesied for a great light, a light that would dawn on those living in darkness. The Son of Man arrived not as a warrior, but as a teacher. He walked the dusty shores of their sea, called fishermen from their boats, healed their sick, and declared a new kingdom. He could have brought an army. He could have judged the nations. But instead, he brought good news. He fulfilled Isaiah's vision not with retribution, but with redemption. And then, in the same region, in the shadow of those ancient hills, a man stood burdened, lost, ready to flee, but a voice came, a voice of spirit. It said, "Be still." And the man was not with his body, but with his soul. The Spirit took his fear. It gave him a new purpose. The man didn't know what to call it, but he named it liberation. It was speed. It was eloquence. It was the same gift given to messengers, poets, and sons of freedom. Now the man is older. He remembers the stillness. He sees the prophecy. He knows that Naphtali wasn't just a name. He was the start of a promise. And the Son of Man didn't just visit Galilee. He was the great light it was destined to receive. This is my heritage. I was born of that freedom not to run away, but to run toward the light. I was called by the Spirit, and now I am speaking the same beautiful words. Naphtali was blessed to speak, revealing what was promised, restoring what was prophesied.